way to secure this.
We are live. Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Mary, What Do You See? I'm fired up as normal if you're here today, but and as normal, we're going to be psychically powered, but we are here to help solve your mysteries and find your missing. But today, like I said, this one is special. We are going to focus on a case apparently we have all gotten wrong for years. So before I introduce the case, I want to introduce my co-host. She is with me as always, keeping you involved in the chat, so say hello. She is a former model, former makeup artist, public relations dynamo. Please say hello to the very lovely Brooke.
Hello, everyone. So happy to be here today.
Well, happy to have you, Brooke. So
Hi, Mary.
It's good to have you. Next up, Neil introduced you to the star of our show. She is a psychic medium and remote viewer. She has often been called one of the top psychics in the world today. And as far as I'm concerned, she is number one. Mary is passionate about finding missing people and getting justice. And today, she is going to tell you the real story of what happened. And I just can't wait. Please say hello to Mary, the medium.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, guys.
How are you today, Mary?
I'm good. Rush. Oh, I just got back 5 minutes ago. Got back, did my hair and makeup.
Well, I think you did great.
Yeah, we're always running a little bit behind here, aren't we? We would probably start the show at 3:10 from now on, just to be sure. So.
Serious.
But yeah, that's the way it works. But we're prepared this week. We're prepared to bring you something, and if you haven't already seen the little tease from the title of this video, I've actually already titled it. Let's get to the case. I'm shaking here a little bit. Okay, so in 1994, we lost, in one of my opinion, computer problem. We lost, in my opinion, one of the greatest musicians of the 20th century, and I'm not afraid to say he was the voice of my generation.
Yep. Sure was.
I'm actually kind of upset and pissed off right now. Kurt Cobain was only around for a few years, but he turned the world on its ear. I've still got a flannel. We got the awful news on April 8th, 1994, that Kurt had taken his own life. It was a bad day. I heard some questions in the years that followed and some things in this case that didn't quite make sense, but most of us, we just dismissed as nonsense conspiracy theories, and most of it revolved around his wife. Lead singer of Hole, Courtney Love. And like I said, we dismissed the theory as just a conspiracy, but a few days ago, I was talking to Mary, and she said, not so fast. So let's get some details. Mary, what do you see?
Okay, as far as she goes, her meal ticket, control freak, wanted control, track marks on her arm, moved her boyfriend into the house. He hated her.
Kurt hated her.
Maybe in the beginning, but he called her, I want away from this fucking bitch. I want away from her. Get her out of my life. She's taking control of everything. That's not what I want to do. Get her out. And I think he wanted, he was heading towards divorce, separation. There was another girl there that he really thought, wow, she's innocent. She's pure. She's not like the hideous bitch I married.
Yeah, that has been said. The divorce has been brought up by some of his friends, and he was talking like that before he died.
That's not what I want to do. It's not. They
had a prenuptial agreement before they got married in '92. She got very little. She obviously would own nothing of Nirvana. She inherited, after he died, 98% of their rights. She fought Dave Grohl and Chris Novoselic for years in court, and she just sold a quarter of her share for $50 million in 2006. So, I mean, she's still owns 3/4 of it. So definitely,
she was very much a control freak, wanted to take it a certain way. He was her meal ticket. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they call in legal terms a motive.
A motive, right? He was her meal ticket. He wanted to go a different route. He wanted more control over his music. He didn't want to listen to her. She was out sleep. Okay, this is what Spirit is showing me. This is coming from Spirit through me. So the messenger, don't shoot the messenger, and that's Spirit. Okay. She showed me a blonde-haired man. She moved into the house. And she showed me. Now, you got to remember, the only thing I know about this guy, I grew up in the 80s, is that I liked one of his songs. I never really paid attention to anything else. That was it. So I knew nothing about his death. I just knew he died. That was it. And
Mary and I have talked more this last week than we ever have. And I've a couple of times she was just telling me like she is now. I just said, stop, like holy cow. So so you're thinking that Courtney is probably
she was
responsible.
Sleeping around with another guy. He absolutely fell in love with a girl with dark hair. Okay,
we're gonna get to her. Let's pause on the girl with dark hair. We're gonna get to her. Okay.
We're gonna get to her.
I know who you're talking about, and I want you to stop. Okay. So, just before they had parted, because they both went to rehab, Kurt had left her a note when they were in Rome saying that he was leaving her. So what you're saying is true. She definitely. I think she owes us an explanation, to say the least. She certainly had a motive. There was hundreds of millions of dollars at stake here, but she did not have the opportunity. That's why she escaped scrutiny years ago. Courtney was in a rehab facility in Los Angeles at the time. I don't want to look at her anymore.
No, please. Oh, God.
Courtney was at a rehab facility in Los Angeles at the time. So for certain, if I'm not even saying if, but if you're saying if what we're saying is true, let's put a really shitty picture of Courtney up here. What do you say? She looks strung out, isn't she?
Hole is a good name for the band because she's an asshole.
He's a shit band too. I never liked Hole.
Oh, she is vile.
Even before I knew what I know.
Cold,
but strung
out. She's very cold, selfish bitch. Cold, selfish bitch. Those are not my words, guys. Cold, selfish bitch.
This is Spirit talking. If you do happen to have Kurt talk, be cool. But all right, so Courtney definitely had something to do with it. But let's bring on some of their other characters. So I want to introduce you a few characters. There's a lot of characters in the story, but first,
she slept with the music guy.
We will get to all those people for sure.
We're going to show pictures.
Okay. This is Tom Grant. He was a private investigator in L.A. and he
not a nice guy. Not a nice guy.
No. You said he had problems.
Beat up somebody. Beat up.
He was. I think he was
I do see a gun discharging at some point in his life. A gun discharging. Not a nice guy.
Not a nice guy. But who is Tom Grant?
He was in LA. And he got a phone call from Courtney Love. He happened to be the guy that answered the phone. So Kurt was at a rehab facility in LA, and he left on March 31st. He hopped over a 6-foot wall. He could have gone out the front door.
Wow.
He was odd. I mean, Kurt was
odd.
He
wanted away.
Yeah. So April 3rd, Courtney hasn't seen Kurt and picks up the phone, calls Tom Grant. Easter Sunday, he picked up the phone. She hired him to find Kurt. During the investigation, Tom became really suspicious of Courtney, had a lot of inconsistencies in her story, and she seemed to be more worried about her band's publicity for the next album.
Right.
So Tom has since become the biggest one pushing the foul play theory for years. And he's actually involved in a movie that I watched that was incredible.
Just recently, yeah.
So Tom is very involved in this case. So we have to remember Tom. So I want to introduce another person. So Kurt flew to Seattle and he met with who ended up being his drug dealer. This is Caitlin Moran. So Caitlin sold heroin to Kurt. They were friends. Courtney was very suspicious of her. Doesn't sound like there's anything ever happening. So she's not the dark-haired woman, I don't think.
No.
She was a heroin dealer. Seemed to be a decent person. So Courtney did not like her. But it seemed like she was just selling him drugs, but she was one of the last people to see Kurt. She said he was in a fine mood, didn't seem depressed. He seemed kind of himself. So that is Caitlin Moran. Okay, and I want to introduce you one more character, pretty involved in the case. This is a man
my God. Oh my God.
Dylan Carlson. Okay, so Dylan was the guitarist for a band called Earth. He was friends with Kurt. I mean, they were friends for years. I've got a picture.
This guy has so much remorse, but he's also money. If you gave him money versus someone's life, he would take the money.
Okay, well, that's gonna make a lot of sense, believe it or not. Okay, so here's a picture of them. This is Kurt, very young, with him on the left. That's him on the left when they were friends. This is him today. This is Dylan today.
God.
Yeah.
You do not like what you see.
All right, so he was friends. He actually gave Kurt the shotgun that was used in his death.
Yes, he did.
He had previously owned the gun and sold it to Dylan, and then when he flew back to Seattle, he met with Dylan and got the gun back. I think he paid for it, or promised to pay for it anyway. So Dylan, he also met Tom Grant at Kurt's house before they found the body, and they went through it. So this was after Kurt was dead, but before anybody had found him. He was in a room above the garage. So Dylan knew the house and showed Tom around the house, but didn't show him the greenhouse where Kurt was at the time, dead. And by this time, Kurt, he was gone. They didn't look there. It just leaves me to wonder if Dylan didn't already know more. What do you think about these three, Mary?
I see that while he was Kurt's friend, I also see that, I'm getting a link between him and Courtney, this guy and Courtney, and I'm getting a link of there's a lot of money that if they traced his bank account back then to Courtney's, they would find a link.
They don't need to.
Okay.
Courtney, for the next at least 20 years, Courtney paid his rent and bought his heroin for the next 20 years.
Right. Paid him off because I think this man shot Kurt Cobain.
You think he did? Okay. All right. So let's take him off the screen. All right. So he's got a lot of guilt. Courtney.
A lot of guilt, like a train load walks behind him full of guilt. Is he still alive?
Yeah, Dylan's still alive. We have some more people to meet, but him having guilt makes total sense. But let's get to a few more people. Dylan was Kurt's friend. He was definitely around Seattle at the time, and he had met with Kurt prior, gave him the gun, perhaps was with him. But I want to get to a few more people. So I
wonder why he needed a gun. Why Kurt needed a gun. Anyway, keep on going.
I think there was break-ins, or Kurt was paranoid, or something like that.
Yeah, he was paranoid.
Maybe he had a reason to be. But,
and he had a reason to believe. I think he thought that Courtney was going to try and kill him once she found out the news that he didn't want to be with her anymore.
Okay. I'm going to introduce you to three more people. Three more, we're going to call them suspects. So Dylan definitely, he knows more than he's got some tremendous guilt. So I'm going to bring this on the screen. This is going to be a lovely person. So this is a band called Kill Allen Wrench. Oh God, weird looking guy. So this guy is actually named Allen Wrench. He's the lead singer of the band. Genuinely cannot find pictures of him that doesn't look like that. So this is who he is. Okay, so Allen Wrench was accused of being the actual killer by another weird looking dude. This is a guy named El Duce. El Duce was he played drums for the Mentors, another kind of a small band out West Coast. El Duce claimed that Courtney offered him $50,000 to kill Kurt, and he said no, but he claims that he knows Allen Wrench did it. So a couple of days after he said this, and he was going to give an interview to say all of what I just told you, he was killed by a train. He was drunk walking home, ended up somehow his head was on one side of the tracks and his body was on the other.
Stupid games. Play stupid games.
So he accused Allen Wrench of it. So I haven't found any more evidence that would suggest Allen
Does
Wrench
Dylan,
actually did it.
yeah, does Allen and Dylan, have they ever hung out together?
Allen, no, I don't think so. To me, it sounded perhaps like El Duce was offered the money, but maybe didn't know, because it didn't seem like Allen Wrench didn't ring true to me. That's my opinion anyway. And unfortunately, I can't find you a picture where he doesn't, look like a demon. So obviously, he's going to look a little bad. So, okay, so I've got that was the first suspect. That is Allen Wrench. He's been accused of it, and then
right.
And
I see that
died. So
it's not the first life he would have taken either.
Oh wow.
Okay. All right. So there it was El Duce. So we got,
and of course I have a target on my head now. But this is what Spirit's showing me. Can we go back to
you want to see the Allen Wrench guy?
Yeah,
plenty of other people. Mary, there was a documentary on this, so trust me, you're not the only one that thinks this.
Yeah, I mean, to me that one is the weakest of the three people I'm going to put up as a suspect. So I do want to move on to another person I want to show you.
He wanted Kurt's fame.
Okay, so suspect 2 is going to be a strange one. This is Cali DeWitt. All right, so Cali. This is Courtney's friend. Had a bit of a past. She'd slept with him before. Cali was a hanger-on, loser, drug addict. Kurt did not like him much, apparently, but he was living at their house in Seattle where Kurt was found, and he had some interaction with Kurt that week. I don't think they talked, but he heard him upstairs or something. He was either lying about stuff or too high to remember things, because a lot of his story doesn't make sense. He was hired as the nanny for their child, Frances Bean.
Well, he was sleeping with Courtney, and that's why she brought him into the house. Also, they shared drugs. Yeah. So this was one of her boyfriends that she was sleeping with. Sorry, I had to blow it up.
One strange thing about Cali is Courtney, like I said, she lied a lot during the case.
Yeah.
When they were,
she did.
When they were. Lost my feed. Sorry. When they were discussing the case with Tom, she had said that she hadn't spoken to Cali in quite a while, and I've heard
Bullshit.
the tape. Tom remembered it. Courtney had called him 9 times that day. 9 times, and they had talked for a long time. So Courtney and him were definitely talking about something.
Yeah.
That to me, and Courtney lied about it for a reason. Courtney lied about it a lot, but that's a big one that she had, because it's phone records. It's obvious. So Courtney and Cali were definitely in contact the day Kurt was gone, the day Kurt died.
Yeah, they were sleeping together.
Yeah, I mean that was coming. I mean, Courtney had a lot. Had a lot going on. So that was definitely the case. So Dylan is kind of like, I want to call suspect number 2. All right. So I want to bring up one more dude. The last one I want to show you is guitar player for Courtney's band Hole. So this. Sorry. All right. This is Eric Erlandson. He was the guitar player for Hole. He was involved with Courtney at the time. Some say they were dating.
She was sleeping with him too.
Yeah,
oh my
they don't confirm, but it sounds like they were dating at the time. I think that's what Tom thought, that they were together at the time.
Yeah,
Courtney had asked him to go to Seattle to help find Kurt. So he was in town through a lot of this, and he had some interaction with Cali at the house. And some of his story doesn't make sense. All right, so I want to talk about, let's break away a little and talk about these 3 people. So this is Eric.
Okay, Eric was hiding a lot of information. A lot. He knew. He already knew.
All right.
He knew before this?
Cali.
This Eric, I think, knew that he was dead. Yeah. Whoop. Where'd my computer
so
go?
Eric, he knew Kurt was dead. That is actually highly likely, because during when he was there, he was there, and Cali's girlfriend was there. Yeah, and she left in a huge hurry one morning. She actually threw up in the driveway on the way out. She said she was sick, but
that's because they found Kurt. and they had to hide all of this.
Okay, so Eric, do you think? I mean, what's his level of guilt of responsibility?
He's a cold soul. Okay, yes. What's Kurt Cobain's wife? What was her name?
Courtney Love.
Yeah, Courtney Love was sleeping with him, and knew that Kurt was dead. As a matter of fact, knew that Kurt was going to die. Okay, and the other guys living ahead of time. Yeah, hid this information, a lot of hiding. And then the other guy that was living at the house, the other dude,
Cali. The nanny. Yeah, the nanny and ex-boyfriend.
The three of them, plus Dylan was the outside person hired. I don't think the guy with the horns, although he's not an innocent soul, he has, I feel like, taken a life before.
We're going to acquit Allen Wrench of this.
We're going to put a pin in Allen.
I think El Duce maybe had been offered, but I don't think Allen Wrench. It doesn't make sense.
No.
But is it?
I mean, he wanted Kurt's fame. He wanted to be as famous as Kurt. Everybody wanted to be
Allen.
Allen, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Everybody wanted to be as famous as Kurt, including Courtney.
That's that guy.
Okay, yeah. And he's a disgusting.
Do you think El Duce was lying when he said that Courtney had offered him money?
I think he embellished a lot of. I'm seeing like this guy told things that weren't true, but I do see Courtney paying someone. Yes, Courtney paid someone is what I'm hearing.
Okay, so we've got. So if we're eliminating Allen Wrench, I don't want to forget about Dylan, but this is Cali. That's the nanny was living in the house, and Kurt wasn't fond of. Loser, drug addict.
Right.
This is Eric. He was the guitar player for Hole.
Right.
And he was dating Courtney at the time, perhaps.
Right. Yeah.
And then let's go back to Dylan. Dylan was friends with Kurt.
Friends, yes. Friends, but where there was money and drugs involved.
Do you think Dylan knew Kurt was going to die, or do you think Dylan was kept quiet when he knew more than he should have?
Dylan kept quiet. He knew more than he should have.
Okay.
I'm seeing he gave him the gun, and then Kurt gave him the gun back.
Yeah, that's what happened. Is it was Kurt's gun. He sold it to Dylan, and Dylan gave it back to him the day or two before he died.
And then Kurt gave him the gun back.
Oh, damn.
Kurt gave him the gun back again?
So he didn't have the gun wasn't in his
He shot himself with the gun, or was what the scene said.
That's what the scene said, but no, he gave the gun back to Dylan. That's what I'm being shown. He gave the gun back.
So Dylan had the gun.
Yep.
Again, I mean, Kurt had it shortly for a few days or for a day, and then Dylan got it back.
It's like, man, I don't need this. Here you go. Boom. And then the next thing I know is, it was being pointed at him. Why are you doing this? Well, sometimes money wins out over, friendship or something like that. Money wins out. That's what I'm hearing. Money wins out.
You're hearing this from who, or about who?
I believe it's Kurt. It's like I'm standing there at the scene where it's happening. Money wins out. Sorry, dude.
Okay. Well, let's get to maybe Kurt. I want to talk for a moment about the actual the scene, the crime scene.
Okay.
So Kurt was he was shot in the head with a shotgun, through his
right.
Mouth. But when he had also had that not happened, he would have overdosed on heroin. He had 3 times the lethal dose of heroin in his system when he died.
Yeah. So did Dylan.
The popular, thing, that we all believed is he shot up right as he shot himself, right? As a way to ease the pain. But having a little bit of experience seeing heroin, drug junkies, before they even finish pushing that thing, fully, they're already starting to go out. And a lot of times they'll completely fall asleep with a needle stuck in their arm.
Right.
Before you could even take it out.
There's no way he killed himself.
Off of somebody.
There's no way.
He tied, and it was not 3 times for a normal person. It was 3 times for a heavy user. 3 times a lethal dose that he had in his system when he died. So he could not physically have been capable of doing it.
He did.
Shooting himself up, putting the kid away, and then shooting himself. There's just no way, Mary. There's no way.
No, he didn't. Kurt Cobain.
He would have been dead.
Okay. Do you think Kurt? Sorry. The last injection he took. Did Kurt inject that into himself, and did he know?
I don't think he knew how strong it was.
Did someone swap a needle?
Switch the needles out, maybe.
Yep.
Okay. Who used the swapping a needle?
Gave him. I want to say, I believe it was, and all the fingers point back to Courtney.
Well, I mean, physically though, Courtney wasn't. She was in Los Angeles.
She was in rehab, but that's just coincidental. It's so convenient, right?
Someone shot him to cover up the fact that he overdosed. I mean, or to make it look more like a suicide.
Yes. To make it look.
He literally what killed him was the heroin. Ultimately, that was a lethal dose of heroin. I just want to know who gave him the needle, or who swapped it on him,
drugs,
or gave him. Did someone give him too strong of a dose?
The nanny.
You think it's Cali?
The nanny.
Cali the nanny. Let's put him back up on the big screen here. So this is Cali. So you're saying Cali is the one who swapped
was in cahoots with Courtney, along with the blonde-haired guy. Okay,
did he load a needle and swap it, or did Kurt trust him to load a needle for him? Is that kind of what it went?
Kurt did not trust him at all.
You think he swapped a loaded needle with a lethal dose?
Mm-hmm. I do.
That was really, one of 2 people I think actually would have physically done it. Okay, so the gunshot, was that to make sure, to cover up, and who pulled the trigger?
I'm still getting Dylan.
Dylan actually did both.
I'm still getting Dylan. It's like Kurt shot himself up. Dylan, I know, probably did heroin. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, he was a
needle. I see needles going into his arm. Kurt's like, man, I don't need this. Handed the gun back and shot himself up. And then Dylan goes, and right before I think Kurt died, or Kurt OD'd or passed out, you hear, dude, what are you doing? Man, sorry, money wins out.
Oh, so Kurt knew at the end that Dylan had screwed him.
That's what I'm seeing. That's what Spirit is showing me.
That Kurt said that was kind of his last thought, is you doing it for the money.
Because and that's, I get just pure evil with Dylan. Just remember, I said I saw a guy with long dark hair.
I'm not sure. I've got different. I'm not sure what he was looking like at the time. But yeah, he's got different looks. But you think that's
he
the guy.
He had long stringy hair to right about here. That's him.
That's him.
That's him.
Okay.
I mean, this is, and I feel like he was paid off.
All right. So
he was paid off.
Do you think, did he get the gun back from Dylan?
Yeah.
Did Cali got the gun from Dylan? Did Cali know why he was giving him the gun? Did Dylan know why?
Okay, say that again. What?
Okay, so you're saying, you told me that let's put Dylan back up on the screen so we know what we're talking about. This is Dylan, Kurt's friend, that he had the gun, Kurt had the gun, back and forth. You're telling me that he got the gun back from Kurt when he was still alive.
Oh shit!
Oh, Mary, where'd you go?
Okay, we're gonna have to fill.
Okay, there you are.
She's
there
back.
you are.
Can you hear me, Mary?
Yeah, Dylan. I mean, they were longtime friends. Okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
They were longtime friends, and I don't know if Dylan needed the money that bad. I get the feeling like he was down and out. He has a lot of remorse for this, a lot of pain, a lot of guilt, a lot of remorse. I mean, remorse just drips from that man. Okay.
But do you think it's remorse that he kept quiet, didn't talk, didn't say
Yeah.
what he knew?
Yeah.
To me, it seemed like I don't think money would have made him want to hurt Kurt, but maybe keep quiet.
But when someone's on drugs, you don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I think everybody involved is involved with heroin, just about. I think Tom Grant's the one clean guy so far. So, yeah, that's
he was an investigator that Courtney hired. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all fingers point to Courtney.
What was the?
All fingers are pointing back to the cold blonde bitch, is what I'm hearing.
So you're okay. So as far as involved in planning or the conspiracy, the premeditation, Courtney and Dylan. No, I'm sorry. Courtney and Cali and Eric all were in.
All were in on it, and I think.
And then Dylan,
now I'm seeing an outside shooter, who was paid, and I believe that to be Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan, you think shot him?
I do. Because I'm seeing the gun, and I'm seeing him holding the gun going, sorry, dude, money wins out. That's what I heard. And it's like there was...
This is Dylan you're talking about, right? The money
Dylan,
wins out.
long dark hair. Dylan.
Well, I mean,
blonde.
I think you were saying that about Cali. That Cali had long dark hair. This is Cali. I'm not sure what he looked like in '94 when it happened, but
Cali was the nanny for Francis.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was protecting Courtney's interests. This guy.
Right.
Okay? Right. Yeah,
her interest.
Not Kurt's.
So this is Dylan we're talking. I think Dylan and Cali were mixed up. So Dylan had the gun, got the gun back from Kurt. Do you see, this is Dylan, the guy on the left here. Do you see Dylan pulling the trigger, or do you see Cali pulling the trigger?
I saw Dylan.
Okay.
His friend.
Yeah, I think that Cali had too much of a drug problem to do that.
Actually, that's why a lot of his stories didn't rouse suspicion, because he was so screwed up. Is that people, the police who investigated this assumed he was just trashed, and he did that absolutely was. So Cali is a terrible drug addict for sure. And it might have been why suspicions weren't on him as much.
Where is Cali now?
Nowhere. I mean, a gutter.
They're both still alive, Dylan and Cali, correct?
So far, other than Kurt. Yeah, I don't think any of these people are gone. So yeah, he's still around, and he's, I'm sure, still a loser. I mean, he wasn't really, I don't know, Cali. Okay, so.
I mean, his soul is cold. There's like darkness behind him. The blonde-headed guy, Eric, was that his name?
Eric Erlandson.
Eric is just void. His quiet, very quiet, very thinks before he acts, very cold and quiet, very reserved. Okay. And I'm not seeing that he did anything to hurt Kurt. I'm seeing Courtney did. Okay, and this is spirit showing this. You got to understand, I'm just the messenger, okay, for what spirit shows. This is only my opinion based on what spirit shows me. I see a man standing in an alleyway. I don't know if it's an alleyway or a hallway. Was there brick in this where he was? Was there like a brick floor, terracotta floor?
It was like an unfinished room. It wasn't.
Was it above the garage? Is that where it was?
I got some pictures of the crime scene. Let me look.
Yeah,
here.
let me see the crime.
This is the police at the crime scene. That's what. Yeah, it was kind of a wooden.
Yeah,
yeah. Maybe it might be concrete. I don't know if they put concrete ceilings in those places, but it was above a garage. It was like a room built above a garage.
And they didn't check this out when it was getting investigated, right? They didn't.
When Tom went there the first time with Dylan, they didn't go into the guest house, and Tom said it was dark and you couldn't even see above the garage. And they confirmed it, that if you drove there, there's no way you would see above the garage. So they went through the whole house, and this is really where suspicion on Courtney started to come. Is Courtney? There was a what they called a suicide note left at the scene, but Courtney claimed that there was another suicide note that was left directly to her. And she found it on her pillow when she got home.
No, he didn't
that
write.
Note was not on the pillow when Tom went through the house. So that note was not left by Kurt, because Kurt was gone.
Yeah, it was written by the nanny.
By Cali?
Yeah, he didn't write it.
No,
he didn't write it.
Okay,
she had him write it. Courtney had Cali write it. Kurt did not write it. Kurt's like, I didn't see any of this coming. I should have seen this coming. I didn't see it coming.
I would. That note, actually, she wouldn't give that to police. The note that she said was only to her, and Tom Grant had taken a copy of it or a picture of it. And yet it was laughably not Kurt's writing.
No,
the actual note that the police found, that they said that the first 3/4 of that note was absolutely Kurt's writing, but it wasn't anything about suicide. It was talking about
the music industry and how it's fake. Yeah.
And then someone at the end, in almost Kurt's handwriting, put on, carry on, Courtney, goodbye, the end type stuff. So from what the theory is, that letter was written when Kurt wanted to quit the music business, maybe months beforehand, and Courtney had it and then added on her own little flair.
Yeah,
they'd actually found in a backpack of hers, they found a piece of scrap paper of her practicing Kurt's letters.
Yeah, and she was. Yeah, absolutely.
So and the fact that she said she had a suicide note, but then wouldn't give it to police, but Tom had to steal it. Yeah, to me, that's just so sketchy.
She read it at the vigil that they had.
She read it. We didn't have anything. He was leaving her. And there was another girl that he became. I mean, he just thought, I think this other girl might have had a drug habit.
Don't ruin the ending. Don't ruin the ending.
What? Oh, I'm sorry.
Mary, you don't know what we're about to say. So put a pin in that. Put a pin in that.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on a little bit here. I want to. Okay. I want to. There's been a lot of speculation since the 1990s that the police were crooked. So I want to move on. And the way they handled this case was wrong. Frankly, they assumed it was a suicide. Why can't
Courtney keep her legs shut?
I know, she's hot dog down a hallway.
Talk about stank.
You're my hero.
Oh my, okay. So that didn't come from me because
if it's Kurt, he's my hero.
I'm a Christian woman.
Yeah, me too.
Stank, slut,
slut. Hey, Courtney, if you're watching, you slut.
Oh my
God. Her name is Hole.
Courtney.
I mean, they have a lot of things to say about her on the other side. It's not good.
Poor Kurt. And he had a baby too at the time, and that baby was everything to him. Yeah. Anyway, back to it.
There's been a lot of criticism about the Seattle police. They assumed it was a suicide immediately and treated it as such.
Sure.
They didn't secure the scene. They didn't even develop some of the rolls of photographs till years and years later. They ruled it an autopsy the same day. It was a half-assed investigation. And also let me get a picture here. The medical examiner. I want to talk about the medical examiner who conducted the autopsy. First of all, he ruled it a suicide before toxicology came back. So, before he knew that Kurt had any heroin in his system. and he didn't change it when toxicology came back. This is Dr. Nicholas, what was his name? Dr.
Oh my God, $150,000.
Dr. Nicholas Hartshorn.
150? Wow.
He did the autopsy, and he's the one that didn't think it was odd that Kurt shot himself with, a 3 times lethal dose of heroin in his system. It's not possible for Kurt to done what he did, and this guy ruled that it was.
Okay, so how much did Courtney pay him? And she slept with him too, by the way.
Holy shit!
Oh my gosh!
Say that.
She slept with him. She paid him, and she slept with him. I'm seeing the number like $150,000. How did she?
Yes.
The number 150.
Absolutely slept with him. Yeah, I don't know how much she paid him, but yeah,
she did, Mary. She slept with him.
Dr. Nicholas Hartshorn absolutely knew Courtney, was friends with her. Somehow was a 31-year-old junior medical examiner and got to do one of the most important autopsies in Seattle history when there was more senior. So somehow he should not have done that autopsy, and he half-assed it.
Conflict of interest. Hello.
And
sleeping with a dead guy's
$150,000.
Why was his license not sanctioned for that?
Right.
I don't know that he was 31 years old at the time, so I don't know if he was
good looking.
Qualified.
Yeah, he was good looking.
Not bad.
Not bad. Yeah.
There's more about that guy. We're gonna get to him too. But yeah, he's the one that ruled suicide. Do you think he knew ahead of time it was a murder?
Forged documents, money, like he was paid. He was paid.
Do you think he knew ahead of time, or was it
I think Courtney
bribe as the day of, or do you think it was part of the plan?
I think it was a bribe, and I think she I don't think, because typically medical examiners have other people working under them to do autopsies, and I think Courtney got to him before as soon as the body came in. I just feel like Courtney got to him.
This is
that's a drug kit.
The police opened this up.
That's
this is Kurt's drug kit. It was closed when they got there, and he had a chance to close that drug kit. Put the needle. I think the cap's back on the needle from the looks of it. So the cap's back on the needle. It's put away, closed, and then laid on the floor. Put a shotgun in his mouth. And Dr. Nicholas Hartshorn is the dude that thought that's possible with that much heroin in the system.
No, absolutely not.
So
that stuff's like instantaneous.
Yeah. I think we have right now at least 4 people who are absolutely involved in his death.
Yes,
I would say that had to be part of. I mean,
he got blood money on his hands. This man got blood money on his hands. Yeah. Believe it or not, we will revisit him. Okay.
This is going to be a longer episode than normal.
No, we're getting close. Actually, we're getting close to wrapping this all up. So I've got only
people love it.
A few more. Actually, one more person to really introduce. But we've been talking for a while about the brunette that Kurt was dating.
Oh, he
was somewhat involved in this case, right?
He's like, he still thinks so fondly of her. I mean, even on the other side, is she dead?
Yes, she is.
Yep.
So I want to bring up. Okay, so we showed you Courtney was the lead singer of Hole. The guitar player for Hole was Eric, the tall blonde guy, and I want to show you the bass player for Hole. This is Kristen Pfaff, Pfaff. Kristen.
Yeah.
Pfaff. Okay, so Kristen, like I said, she was Hole's bass player. There was rumors that, she was fond of Kurt. Kurt and her liked each other. I think Courtney suspected things. There's rumors that she suspected. So when you said that maybe
she inspired him.
Yeah.
Aww.
She was inspirational, is what I heard. She inspired me.
Okay.
And she didn't try to control him like Courtney was trying. Courtney just used him for her own fame.
Okay.
And all she wanted to do was have kids, settle down.
Yeah. Oh God.
You don't even know yet.
She died of a drug overdose a few months after Kurt died. After all of this,
broken-hearted, man.
But she, God, she had essentially said goodbye to Hole and to rock and roll and to Courtney and all of that shit after Kurt died. And she'd left the West Coast. She'd gone home to Wisconsin or Minnesota, somewhere up there. Gone home and got herself cleaned up. She was never a particularly bad drug user. She was more casual, but yeah, she definitely dabbled with Courtney and decided to clean up, get her life together. Was finding different things to do in music besides, drug-addled Hole. And she had cleaned up. She had been clean and sober for a while, and she had just returned to the West Coast to move her stuff home.
Mm-hmm.
She had brought a U-Haul and a friend.
Yeah.
And they were returning home after getting clean. She seemed to want to put the West Coast behind her. Everything. It was she had packed up her apartment and it was empty. And she was going to leave in the morning and they were going to drive to the upper Midwest, Wisconsin, I believe. And her friend slept in the car because there was a lot of break-ins in the neighborhood and she didn't want to get all her stuff stolen. And Kristen slept in the apartment. Her last night, she was in an empty apartment and she overdosed. It wasn't even like it was a big overdose, so it wasn't. Her friend, like I said, was sleeping in the moving van. She was all alone in her apartment. But just before he went to sleep, she was in the apartment and she got a visitor. And right when he left, the door didn't open the rest of the night and she was dead the next morning. So I want to introduce you to her last visitor, Eric Erlandson.
Oh, no shit. Really?
Mm-hmm. He was the last person to see her alive. He was in her apartment for about 20 minutes. And after he left, the guy in the car, I don't remember his name, he'd gone in to check on her. She was locked in the bathroom and he heard her snoring and just assumed she was asleep in the tub. And the next morning she was dead. So Eric Erlandson was the last person to see Kristen alive. And if you want this story to get a little bit more sick, her death was ruled a suicide or an accidental overdose. Who do you think conducted the autopsy?
The same dude.
Dr. Nicholas conducted the autopsy.
Wasn't she in Wisconsin?
They were in LA. She had gone back to get her stuff from the apartment. They were leaving in the morning, so she OD'd in her empty apartment as she was out. After she hung out with Eric Erlandson for 20 minutes, and then this guy happened to do the autopsy for rock star.
All instrumented by Kurt. No loose ends, because she could point her finger at Courtney. So Kristen? Courtney tied up all of the loose ends.
So you think Courtney ordered this one?
Yes, I do.
And
absolutely, 100%.
I don't need to ask you who shot her up. Do you think she voluntarily shot up and did too much because Eric switched them, or do you think she wasn't even going to shoot up?
I don't think she was going to shoot up. I think he convinced her. The blonde-haired man has got no soul. When I look at him, I just see a void behind him. It's just a void, which means I know where he's going when he dies. Okay, like when I look behind Brooke, I mean, it's all pretty and roses and flowers and happiness. The same behind you. It's a beautiful hallway. But behind this guy with blonde hair, it's a complete void, a nothingness, absolute nothingness behind him, which tells me what kind of a soul he has. Okay, this is part of the gift. It's void. This man was Courtney sent him there to tie up loose ends. Yeah. Convinced her to do the drugs. She had quit, was going back and moving out, correct?
Yes.
She didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it.
Her stuff was in the U-Haul. That's why the guy wasn't in the apartment with her. That's why he wasn't. That's why he was able to get in there with her by herself. And he heard her snoring in the bathtub or in the bathroom. And I guess Kristen was known to fall asleep in the bathtub for some reason. It was one of her things. So it wasn't unusual. Maybe she hadn't died yet.
Yeah. I want to know where this blonde-headed man is.
Eric. He's still alive.
Yeah, he's still around.
Sure, I'm glad I don't have his soul.
The only
or Dylan's.
I mean, the only people I think are dead. I don't know, some of the cops are gone. I know, is Kristen and Kurt.
Well, Courtney hired Tom Grant to investigate Kurt's death, and he's the one that said she's guilty. She's involved. Mm-hmm. Kind of ironic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tom Grant is hell bent on getting her
just on what Kurt has shown me. And everybody will go, well, how do you know you're really channeling Kurt? Because I know things that these two people on the top of my screen never told me, and I told them, and it came from Kurt.
She had started to tell me many times this week, and I've stopped her.
Yeah. And there's no way I would have known this, because I personally, my life is too busy to get wrapped up in dead musicians. I'm sorry. It just is. Right. So I believe what spirit shows me. What spirit shows me are signs, symbols, and imagery. And it's like, okay, so you've given me this information, so I have to relay it. Okay, so this is my opinion as a medium psychic, but it's coming from spirit. I am just the human body that spirit talks through. There's no way I would have known any of this. I mean, the last person I saw standing over Kurt, and I'm standing there in the same room, and Kurt's sitting down. Okay, he's sitting down. Okay, and Dylan is standing up, and he goes, here, dude, I don't need this anymore. And shooting. And then he looks up, and Dylan's holding a gun. And, dude, what are you doing? Sorry, man. Money wins out. Bam.
So, I mean, we're to Dylan, his friend.
That's what I'm being shown. Go back to the other picture.
The his more recent. That's
yeah. Money wins out. Money wins out, doesn't it, Dylan?
I hope he sees this. It's unlikely, but I hope he sees this.
Yeah, I doubt he will. But Courtney absolutely planned it, paid the medical examiner, slept with him. And then what about sleeping with cops? God, what an
Did you sleep with cops too?
Evil, selfish, controlling, cold bitch. Evil.
How do we catch her?
Mary,
I mean,
Aubrey asked, do you think this will eventually come to light? Do you think that, like, ultimately he'll get justice, or we'll all get justice for this, or do you just think it will be buried continuously? Like,
I think it's going to be continuously buried unless they can trace money to Dylan or to the medical examiner through her. I'm just seeing a lot of cash changed hands. Like
it's entirely public that Dylan received rent, that she paid his rent for decades.
Yeah.
She made $1 billion. She made $1 billion since he's been gone, Mary.
Yeah, I know. God,
yeah, I think her net worth is approaching that. She sold a quarter of it, but yeah.
She wasn't even talented, I don't think. Anyway.
No, and that's all she wanted. That's all she wanted. And really, mark my words now, Kurt shows up around his kid. Is it a girl?
It is a girl. She's beautiful.
She's owned her a lot.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, her and her mom have had a lot of falling outs over the years. I don't know if they're still estranged, but yeah, she got. I think her grandmother adopted her when she was a teenager. Yeah, her mom was a strung out drug addict for way too long. I mean, I think she's in better shape from what I've seen publicly, but yeah, for years she would show up at every event. Just how hammered could you possibly be? And maybe there's some guilt, or do you think she's just dead inside?
She's just guilt. No.
No.
See, I mean, Dylan is the only one
Selfish.
that you're feeling guilt out of, right?
Oh my God, I'm feeling it's like a freight train running behind him. Oh my God, the guilt is unbearable when I look at him.
That to
not
me,
that not that picture, not that picture. I don't get
about the one
any
now.
That
one picture. I get the most incredible guilt and remorse from this man.
So to me, the only I don't know that there's any evidence or anything you could find from back then to really put it on him, but
no. But the
Dylan would
hair,
probably be
the
the
hair.
only.
Now, let me ask you this: Callie, the housekeeper, the nanny. Did Callie have long hair back then? Is my question.
I've seen pictures of Callie with long hair.
That was really in style back then in '94. Like that was the whole grunge thing.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull one up. I don't think I could get any up on the screen. I might be able to pull up a longer haired picture of Callie. The hell was his name? Cali DeWitt.
What's wrong with Dylan's mouth? Why is it? What am I looking at?
Drugs. I don't know. A lot of times, drug users will lose teeth and stuff. I don't know if his face is collapsing. He looks relatively normal there, but yeah, he's.
I just get.
He's had long hair and beard and everything for.
I just saw the long hair. He's kept to himself about this. A lot of remorse.
Oh, hang on.
He talks.
I got a picture of him holding Francis, holding the baby. This would have been within a few months of what happened here.
Before Kurt died.
I believe so, yeah. Actually, let's just put it up on the screen. I will share my screen and put it up there. So this is a picture of Callie around the time with straggly long hair. So let's get that dude off of there. Let's try. This is the one long haired picture I found of him, but he's holding the baby. That's Callie. Probably around the time that it happened.
Who would be okay with someone's ex being the nanny? Like, I don't know. It's weird. If you had your ex as her nanny, I wouldn't be okay with that.
That's Courtney behind them there. That's
what a beautiful child.
Yeah, she's
you should see her now. She's gorgeous.
Yeah. And she seems like a good kid, but that's
what a freak he is.
Callie, yeah.
What a freak. But long hair.
Yeah, long kind of
like what a freak. He's got a very dark soul, guys. Very dark.
Mm-hmm.
I just see Dylan and Kurt, the last moments of Kurt's life.
But you're not seeing Callie, you're seeing Dylan.
If Callie had hair to down here, this is what I saw. This hair. And the guy was thin, and he had a deeper voice.
So, they do look a little like.
They do.
He would have looked more like that. I'm not sure if he has long hair in that picture. That he would have looked more like that. That's the more. I think that's 93 or 92.
Old picture, yeah.
Yeah, but that would have been what he looked like back then. Now he's all scraggly. You got the chops and the beards and all that stuff. But that's.
And this was 30 years ago, so.
Yeah, this is 94. So that's Callie back then. So what they would have looked like when it happened, and that they do look a lot alike. Callie.
They do. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Could I be seeing Callie? Cali standing there.
Doubtful. See, the thing is, he wouldn't have been able to overpower Kurt. He was
he would have been able, but she said they swapped the needles. That's all he had to do.
Yeah, okay. I'm just not seeing him there with Kurt at the last moment.
You're not seeing Cali.
You're
seeing
Cali.
You
see Dylan.
I see Dylan.
Is it? I don't know. I hate to look too much into
cat
it.
But yeah. Cat hair.
Not a ghost cat hair. That's an actual cat hair.
That's a natural cat hair.
So I mean, $150,000 that doctor got. Dylan got.
Mary wants to say something.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab my phone for a second.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask Spirit a question while we're live. Hang on.
Wonderful.
Sure. Her gift, she can see spirits in still photographs and in video, and she can actually hear them. And I've heard it. It's clear as day. In her movies, you can hear it too.
Okay, hang on. I need everybody to be quiet for a second. I'm just going to ask a question, okay?
Okay.
Kurt, you have been showing me a lot about your death. Did Dylan kill you? Yes or no? All right, hang on. Let me turn up the volume. Let's see. Oh, shit, I had the volume off. All right, hang on. One more time.
Do it again, yeah.
Okay. Okay, Kurt, you've been showing me things about your death for over a week now. Can you tell me yes or no? Did Dylan pull the trigger? Yes or no? Okay, let's see. Okay, Kurt, you've been showing me things about your death for over a week now. Can you tell me yes or no? Did Dylan pull the trigger? Yes or no?
I heard no. Right after you finished speaking, I heard no.
Okay, hang on. Okay, Kurt, you've been showing me things about your death for over a week now. Can you tell me yes or no? Did Dylan pull the trigger? Yes or no? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard no.
I heard it again. I heard no again.
Dylan pulled the trigger. Yes or no? Yes or no? Or no? No. Go back. Yes or no? Go back.
Go back?
Go back, like with the slides?
Yes or no? Yes or no? Trigger. Yes or no? That's a weird. Can you hear what he's saying?
I heard something.
Like no to me, but I would
listen. Trigger. Yes or no? Trigger. Yes or no?
I can't make it out that well.
Okay, let me go back to the other video. Okay. Okay, wait a second. All right. Let's see. That would be. Where's the friggin' videos here? Videos. Okay, the last. Okay, this one. Kurt, you have been showing me a lot about your death. Did Dylan kill you? Yes or no?
I didn't.
Oh, yes.
He did?
Oh, shit. Oh my God.
What? I didn't hear it.
I heard something. I heard a whisper.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Did you guys hear that?
I heard it.
Where's the volume on this thing? Okay, so where's the mic on this iPad? I'm going to put it up to the mic. Okay, here we go. Yes or no? Who was that? That had to be Kurt. That was Kurt.
It was Kurt.
Yep. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mary is going to send me these files, and yeah, I will.
I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Yeah, I'll dig into them.
I don't know if it may be too big, so I'll have to upload them to Google Drive.
Yeah, we can.
We need to put it on TikTok too. Yeah.
No worries. We'll take care of it.
Files,
Yeah, absolutely.
The attachment limit. Okay,
wow.
so let me go.
I've got some chills.
It sounded like crying.
Oh.
Crying. That's what it sounded like. Where's my Google Drive? More Google Drive. Let me get this up to you. Maybe you can play it online. Let's see. Where's my Google Drive? No, not Otter Drive. Here we go. And okay. And then I'll get you the link.
Okay.
Wow.
I'll
thank you.
Look at it.
Thank you, Spirit. I'm so grateful.
Sorry, Kurt. Yeah.
Okay, the real Mary the Medium upload. Okay, so it shouldn't take that long because they're only like 20 seconds each.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Well,
we got it taken care of, Mary. It's all right.
Wow.
This is heartbreaking.
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna make some. I'll make some shorts or
clips,
some copies of that stuff.
Because
and figure out
the second video, he goes, "Go back."
Go back.
Because
Go back to
go
the first
back.
one.
It means to go back to the first video.
I already told you
that.
In
the first video, I hear yes, and then I hear like a last breath or crying or something.
Kurt could be incredibly sarcastic, so that wouldn't be unlike him to not answer you a second time. Just bitch, I already told you.
Yeah, I had an experience with this too. It was.
We're a little over time, but I want to tell a story. Kurt was backstage at the Music Awards, MTV Music Awards, and Kurt and Courtney were sitting there with their baby, Francis, when very infant, and Courtney was being loud and yelled to Axl Rose, who's an asshole, but I love Axl.
She probably slept with him too.
Yeah, she yelled to Axl Rose, Axl, will you be the godfather to my baby? And Axl Rose gets all red in the face and comes over, gets right in Kurt's face. And he's like, Cobain, you better put your bitch in check. You better and tell your bitch to shut up. And Kurt kind of looks over, smiles at her, he goes, shut up, bitch. And I didn't know how to take that. So, he was like, I'm going to insult your girl. He's just like, I'll insult her too. So,
oh, my God.
He was a sarcastic person, and he was,
I get that. Yeah,
sucks,
I
man.
Definitely. Okay, so I'm sending it to you now.
Okay.
One of them. I'm not sure which one.
Or I don't want to play with that live on the air, but yeah,
I'll
definitely take a few minutes here and see if I can't.
Where's the friggin' link?
But
okay.
That's wow. Good show, huh?
Yeah,
I think it's amazing.
So we're gonna hold off on giving you a final answer. We're leaning towards Dylan actually did it. Definitely feels guilty, but he's the only one that does, and he's the only one that would possibly open his mouth because he's the only one of that group of the soul. So that I'm gonna look. I see where Dylan's
he does have a soul.
And yeah, he feels terrible. So that's the only way to really put Courtney Love in jail for the rest of her life and take that money and give it to Francis.
Gosh, I hope
Dave
the garbage takes
Grohl
itself
deserves
out.
some of that money.
I
Dave
love
and Chris
Dave.
deserve a piece of that fucking money. She
Poor
cheated.
Dave.
She cheated Kurt's bandmates out of that money.
Oh yeah.
So Francis,
Yep, she did.
with Kurt and Chris, they deserve all of her money. So that's
Yeah.
Nirvana.
She doesn't deserve shit. Sorry.
No, she doesn't. And you know what? This'll I'm telling you, karma is a bitch, guys. Karma is a personal friend of mine. Karma is a bitch. You gotta do right. You really do. You have to be a kind person.
Not like Courtney Love.
Nope, and she's not.
I always thought she sucked, but I've never wanted to.
Yeah, she's not talented.
I never believed she was.
Kurt was only a stepping stone, and by the time he realized it was too late, her plan was already in action.
Mary, you don't know this, but he had actually like talked to a lawyer and like was filing for divorce. She knew this. And in the prenuptial agreement, she wasn't supposed to get much at all. And she knew that he was trying to get away from her.
What a motive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes for another question. Okay.
Sure. Go ahead.
Another question to ask Kurt. Kurt, don't go anywhere. I need you here. Okay. Hang on. We're going to ask right now. Okay. No sound. Okay, Kurt. Did Courtney plan your death? Yes or no? My phone, it just went blank. Look, I can't get it back on. Son of a...
Oh my gosh, what do we do, Mary?
I'm plugging it in. Hopefully.
It died like, okay.
Oh, battery maybe.
Could be bad.
Maybe it wasn't the spirit turning it on.
Okay, sorry. Hang on, spirit.
No, it's all good. It's all good, Mary.
We're gonna do some clips. We're gonna put them on the air. We're gonna get the answers for this, but I think we've.
Spirit can drain batteries. Okay, that's how they can get their energy if they are near you. Anything electric that can drain batteries and stuff. So what I'll do is I will send you that video. Okay. Yep. As soon as my phone boots back up. I mean, it just, there it is. Do you want me to play it? See if
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Please.
Okay. All right. Hang on. Okay.
I don't care if this show's 2 hours. This is interesting, and everybody else will find it too. So don't feel like you're in a hurry, Mary. We're not.
All right. Hang on.
Yeah, we're.
Let's see.
We're enthralled in this.
Getting really close to kind of putting together a whole story. I think. I don't think it captured it. Let me ask one more time.
Do it again, yeah.
I've got it plugged in.
Believe it or not, I actually came into this pointing my finger at Eric for no other reason because I believe he killed Kristen. And
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Callie wasn't healthy.
He did. And it was at the request of Courtney.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask Kurt. Well, please don't go. I need you here. No. Okay. So let me ask. Kurt, one last question, and then I'll let you go. Kurt Cobain, did Courtney plan your death? Yes or no?
Do you normally only hear it on playback?
One last question, and then I'll let you go. Kurt Cobain did, and then I'll let you go. Kurt Cobain, did Courtney plan your death? Yes or no? There's a noise. No, don't delete the video. What? There's a yes. Yes, there's a yes.
Oh, really? I put my mic on mute, so let me.
I'm going to keep asking, but I heard it was like a deep breath.
Okay.
Did Courtney plan your death? Yes or no? What? Stop. Oh my God, they stopped it at this point. Look, I mean, that's crazy. I didn't even touch it. They stopped it at this point in the video. Okay, hang on. What? No. Stop. Okay. Courtney plan your death? Yes or no? Yeah. So I'm going to send this to you.
Okay, we've got some.
And see if you can break it apart.
Oh yeah, I can cut and paste and stuff. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, but just get those to me, and I'll put some clips up this week. Maybe we'll have some answers. We might talk about it next week, but we're really kind of running late on time, so really want to kind of wrap it up. Yeah, that I'm chilled. My mind is blown, and yeah, I'm glad that I waited. That I made you shut up so many times this week because I wanted to wait for the show to hear some of this stuff. Because yeah, I'm.
I mean, he was showing me so much stuff.
Yeah.
It's how would I know that? I'm standing right there. I'm seeing the interaction.
Yeah. No, genuinely, I had to kind of walk Mary through who Kurt was this week. Yeah, she knew he was the guy who played this one song. So
one song. Yeah.
All right, I want you to do Chris Cornell one of these days. He was one of my favorites.
Oh,
not today.
Yeah.
We've got some ideas for next week. We've got some ideas for down the line. We're going to get back into helping people also, into finding some missing people. But honestly, you hit Reverend Kel's favorite here. And Kurt's, he's a hero of mine. And I'm furious. Yeah. So I wish I could figure out what to do. Anybody have any ideas? I'd be happy to hear them. But I'm going to go now. You guys have anything you want to do? You just
financial records.
You have anything you want to announce or tease? Oh, Mary is going to be in London.
Yep.
Friday.
Next Saturday?
Friday.
Is that when the march is?
Friday.
The march is Saturday the 20th at noon at London Bridge.
Okay, Saturday the 20th, noon at London Bridge, and we're marching to help stop the London serial killer. They're pulling the bodies out of the River Thames. So, yeah. London said if you can make it to London, just jump on over to London. Saturday, April 20th. I know we have some viewers from England, so if you want to join her in March, to stop.
I can't wait to eat some real English
what are the names
food.
of who you're supporting? The names of the real quick, Mary, Paul,
Paul Conti, Damian Lewis, Kane Johnson, and there's so many more. That
but yeah, you're actually they're marching with the families on London Bridge.
With the families who you helped
next Saturday at noon London time.
Yeah,
so,
because
while she's going to be in London, we might work out something. But yeah, she'll be in England for the next Sunday, so that might be when we do it. We will see, but I'll put out some announcements. But I want to appreciate everyone for tuning in. Appreciate you, Brooke, for sticking around with us, and Mary. It's always
a pleasure.
Tell
love you,
Mary.
I had fun, guys.
And God. Thanks for tuning in, folks, and we will see you next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
For following.
Yeah.